Hey, wait 1 minute before you move. I need to ask you something. Where did you bury it? I know that it sounds kind of broad, but let's have a quick conversation. This year, I know a lot of us came in and said that this was going to be the year that I wrote that book. I wrote the business plan. I got the new job. I got peace of mind. I got my GED. I was going to get all A's. This is the year that I was going to graduate. We said that. We said that, but for some reason, this year we buried it. Not only this year did we bury it, but last year we buried it. The year before that we buried it. And even so, we buried it in places here, and there. This year, I am encouraging you, I'm challenging you to go back and pick it up. But this time, I'm not telling you just to go back and pick it up, to make it die again, to bury it again. But you need to go back and pick it up and make sure that it lives. Make sure that it has progress. Make sure that it does what it needs to do. Because if you abort this mission, there are thousands of people that will miss out on what you buried. No. What you have, what you buried, they'll miss out on it. So go back and pick it up. You have a responsibility with what you have on the inside of you. You got to go back and get it. Go get it. If it's with your hands, if it's with a shovel, go back and get it. Where did you bury it? Bang, bang, we live. We're back with Unorthodox Routes to Success. Look, if you're joining us right now, I need you to do me a favor and share this with somebody because we have a pretty good conversation in store. Again, my name is Demetrius Dew, and I'm the founder of the PENS program. No, we've been taking a little break, but we've had a conversation titled Unorthodox Routes to Success, where we have people coming on that have done things that have been really successful, but they're unorthodox as far as it being uncommon. You don't hear of many people doing it. You may not hear of people that's like them doing it. But tonight we have a conversation in store for you, people that may be aspiring dentists, or you may be aspiring to do something in the medical field. This conversation is for you tonight. And so I encourage you, if you're watching this now or you're watching this later, make sure you take out a pen and pad because you're going to learn some things from my good brother, Jerome Neal. I won't say anything about him because he has a long resume, but I'm gonna let him do it. Jerome, please introduce yourself to the audience tonight before we have this great conversation.
Thank you for having me on the program. Like you said, my name is Jerome Neal. Come from Newark, New Jersey, raised in Wilson, North Carolina. Me and you, we met high school days, right?
There we go. There we go.
Good old days right there, man. 2012. Long time now.
No, that's real.
Oh, yeah. After high school, I joined the Army for 4 years. Served in a combat support hospital where I was submerged in a healthcare environment, working alongside nurses, LPNs, doctors, and surgeons as well. Being in that environment is just the health professionals around you. Everybody's professionalism and diligence to the patient's well-being just solidified my direction in life, to do that I want to help people in similar ways.
Yeah.
And that's direction that's landing me on your platform today, man.
Yeah. So look, if you're watching this now or later, shout out to one, Wilson, North Carolina. We got to shout them out.
Oh, yeah.
And then two, we got to shout out the Hunt High School Warriors. If you're a Hunt High School graduate or if you're at Hunt, definitely you want to chime in tonight. But shout out to Wilson, North Carolina. Shout out to Hunt High School. This show is brought to you by, no, I'm joking. We don't got any sponsors. Not yet, right? Not yet. We ain't got no sponsor. But we got a good conversation for you all tonight, man. And as I said before, we want to bring people on here that's giving us information on successful routes that may seem uncommon to people, right? Successful routes that may seem, even, let's go here, it may seem intimidating, right? From the outside looking in, they may seem intimidating, but we have people that have really broke the mold. And tonight we just heard Jerome give his introduction, but now let's go into the motivation behind the whole dentistry path, and let's even talk about what that looks like. How did you go from your initial career to now going into dentistry? or medical field, like we talked about.
For sure. So when I was in the service, I had some dental work done. I
Hmm.
sustained an injury that needed jaw surgery playing basketball, and that showed me um, the possibilities of dentistry. Like you are helping people in a way that's vital to their health. Dentists they help people with systemic health overall, and I saw with dentistry you help people, but you don't have anyone's lives in your hand.
Yeah.
And that was like, okay, I can handle that level of pressure, and I like that aptitude that, all right, I'm helping people, whether it's confidence,
Right.
whether it's ability to obtain optimal nutrition, eating what they want, so dentistry really stuck with me.
Yeah.
And how did I get the motivation for it? The environment that we come from, I didn't see a lot of African American dentists. And so it was hard for me to find a role model or a mentor there. And so for me, I went back in Black history of what we were and what we're capable of. So I dug into the history of the Moors.
Mm.
I learned about how we were the first world travelers, how we created ways to refine steel in the 5th century. Like we're
Yeah.
talking about hundreds of years before the steel industry even like blew up.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, we come from like real greatness. And if I can just harness that, I put it in my mind that I'm putting all my eggs in this. I never planned for failure because
Right.
I knew what our people were capable of. Even though I didn't see it around me, like the proof is in the history.
Mm.
So that's just that gave me the drive that I needed, man.
Yeah.
So I moved out to Colorado after the service. I set up a plan, a schedule, a 4-year plan, and to just knock out prerequisites.
Yeah.
So prerequisites is what gets you into any medical school, whether
Mm.
it's an MD program, a pharmacy, dentistry, optometry. We all medical schools need prerequisites to just even to get in or even to apply.
Yeah.
And setting up this schedule, it was just breaking down this timeline. So anybody that wants to be a doctor, and no matter what type of doctor you want to be, it's usually going to be 8 years.
Yeah.
Unless you're in some accelerated program that's like 7 years, it's going to be an 8-year program. And
Yeah.
for me, I focused on one semester at a time, breaking down that semester into days and the test deadlines and quiz
Yeah.
deadlines.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's just really having tunnel vision in those goals. And before you know it, you're knocking out semester by semester by semester by just staying to this concrete schedule. Because
Yeah.
these prerequisites, they're chronological. So
Mm.
when people think of med school, it's like, man, that's a long time. Going
Yeah.
to school for 8 years is a long time.
Very true.
But I tell people, no matter what career you go into, if you work 8 years in that career, are you going to own that? Are you going to own that company? Are you going to be the boss with no one above you?
Yeah.
And as a doctor, after 8 years, you are your own boss.
Right.
You can own your own business, your own
Yeah.
practice. So that was more fuel to me.
Wait 1 second, Jerome. Let me ask this question though, because we go back to like history, right? And you talk about how you really delved into the history of um, what we've accomplished as African American people. But you said something critical. You were like, I didn't see people that look like me in dentistry. But at the same time, when we say we don't see people, sometimes we don't know the hard facts behind what that actually means.
Mm.
It's not just that I don't see people. It's like from a data perspective, from a numbers perspective, this is what the numbers look like as far as African Americans in dentistry. Like, so if you have those numbers, can you actually tell the audience what the percentage is of African Americans in your field? Because that may even be more enlightening to the listener to say, this is not just something I'm hearing. This is real facts.
For sure, For sure. So 4% of us, there's 4%. No, the population of dentists in America, only 4% are African American.
Whoa.
Yes, yes,
Say that
pretty.
again. You got to say that again, bro.
Out of all the dentists in America, 4% are African American. Four, like very, very low numbers. It's
Jeez.
it's crazy. In my school, Meharry Medical College actually produces over 40% of them. So it's
Shout out to
definitely,
your school.
definitely an honor. Definitely an honor. And it's that number is too low, if you
It's,
ask me.
it's too low. It's too low. So now we talk about from a historical standpoint what we've done, but then we talk about now leading up to 2022 that it's only 4% of us in there. So I can only imagine what type of challenges, right? What type of challenges you have going into it. So let's kind of now talk about with that 4% on your back. Literally, you got to walk around with a chip on your back or something, right? 4%, you got 4% on your back, and now you have the challenges of pursuing this career with almost like walking into the unknown. So, what has been some challenges for you, knowing all of those components are going on at the same time?
Initially, it was tough. When I was out there in Colorado, I moved there not knowing anyone, and I never visited. So
Mm,
everything was new to me.
yeah,
And looking for a mentor, I got so lucky and blessed. So
mm,
my anatomy professor was actually a dentist, and he mentored my mentor in Colorado.
wow,
He
yeah,
act, he actually employed the only African American pediatric dentist in the state of Colorado.
tough,
Right.
tough.
It's yes, definitely challenges. And when I met my mentor, I told him, I was like, you're not on Google. Like I Googled African American dentist, and he didn't even come up. Like so
Mm.
that's the type of challenges that you can run into. But luckily, networking allowed me to just land on someone that was able to guide me. And what he did was he connected me to other uh, students that was black on the same path as me, and
Yeah.
that was imperative for me to see as well, that ambition and that drive to succeed in this field as well.
So let me say this too, Jerome, because we said this last night when we were talking, but we talk about challenges, right? And then we talk about how on the outside looking in, it can look intimidating for some people, right? Like literally, this conversation can do some justice as far as disarming the mentality of people that want to go into the medical field, but it can be challenging. But when you start to network, like you're saying, when you start to be around certain people that maybe operate at a higher level than you do, eventually you start to operate at that same level and you don't even know that you have become the competition.
For sure. It,
Yeah,
when you're in the beginning, like for everyone that's starting out on the pre-med route, you see the percentage of people getting into schools is
yeah,
still single digits. Like you got thousands of applicants, excuse me.
yeah.
Only I think my class only 60 got in. 63 got in out of the hundreds of applicants. So
Wow.
it can be intimidating. It can. And for me, and for everyone in this, I would say to just look at the averages. Look at the average GPA of those people getting into that school. Look at the average test scores.
Yeah.
Every medical school, you either want to take for dental school, it's a DAT. It's the dental admissions test.
Okay.
And for me, I knew the average that I had to hit when I took the dental admissions test.
Hmm.
I knew where my GPA was supposed to be throughout all of undergrad. And I would say to anyone in the beginning of this process, just if you hit that average, you're good.
Yeah.
You're an individual. So when you're applying as yourself. Like I know it's hundreds of other people applying, but you're going to stand out as you once you hit that average. You're going to have your own interests that's going to make you an individual and an applicant. for me, I worked with the Special Olympics since high school. I've been involved with that, and as well as veteran programs.
Yeah.
And that could be anything for anyone else. Some people are interested in community service and working with the homeless. I knew some people that did research. So in the beginning, it can be intimidating, but once you reach these small goals that you set out, you're going to be fine. Like I promise you. And once you get into dental school or medical school, yo, it's a different world. I promise you, you're not competing with your peers anymore.
Ooh, yeah. Wait. Talk about that, Jerome, because that's a whole different perspective in itself. Because sometimes it seems like we'll stay in that competition phase for the rest of our life. We're like, I'm gonna be competing forever. But seriously, right? It's like sometimes we're just in this like on guard. I'm in a war zone, but really, you're not competing like you said. Once you get on the inside, talk about how it is once you get on the inside of it.
Oh yeah. So with Meharry, it is a HBCU, but I would say for any school with 60 people going to the class Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 every day, you're going to bond. You know what I mean? But you are not competing with each other anymore. It's your peers are rooting for your success. Your professors, they are rooting for your success. No one wants to see you fail. And I know we heard that since we were little,
Right,
but
for sure.
I promise you,
Yeah,
no one wants to see you fail. My peers are driven. They keep me motivated. They keep me not slacking. Just seeing their drive, it pushes me. And
yeah.
everybody wants to see everyone win. We started with 63, and everybody wants 63 to end.
Mm. And so you guys started what year?
2021, yeah, last year,
And you guys will be finished in what?
2025.
That's tough.
Oh yeah,
That's tough. That's good though, and it just speaks to, like you said, the camaraderie that you
yeah,
all have, and the networking, and how once you get on the other side, it's not necessarily about who's the best. It's about us, like we said in the beginning of the conversation, getting to that 4%. We got to increase that 4%.
for sure, for sure. Like I promise you, you can ask anyone. We all finishing with 63.
Yeah. If I think if we had a theme for this conversation tonight, it should be like increase 4%. Like,
Yes, yes. It's those numbers are too small, but
yeah.
just becoming. Actually, it's interesting what I've learned. As what I'm about to become the first doctor in the family, what I see in my class, I can't speak for other classes, but in my class, I would say a third of my class have a doctor in their family already. Whether,
Woo.
whether it's their mom, their aunt, their brother, or something, it shows that if one can do it, the next generation can. It shows you that it's possible.
Yeah.
So by us setting the standard like this is achievable, the next generation will see it. And those numbers, I believe, will continue to increase. I do.
Just having one doctor in your family,
This one,
so many more people.
yes, yes,
Wow.
I see it. I see it in my class, man.
Wow. It reminds me of it, there's like a scripture in the Bible that talks about like one could chase 1,000. It's like having that same type of framework of like literally one person can do so much. Sometimes it may not be the entire uh family unit. You know what I'm saying? It may just be you, but what you'll be able to kind of snowball and start will be able to impact thousands of people, down the line. So
For sure. Just seeing it up close. You
seeing it
know,
up.
like I said, I didn't see it, so I just looked at the greatness that was. I'm
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
hey, that's still in there.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, definitely.
So Jerome, I think we may have some young aspiring dentists watching, right? And they maybe they're not just trying to be dentists, but they're trying to go into the medical field. They may not be trying to be athletes. They don't want to be track stars, football stars, basketball stars. They said, "Look, I want to be the one that saves a life, right? But you're in that field and you know exactly what they'll be able to accomplish or even be able to experience. What is some advice that you have for a young student that's in high school or middle school and they're thinking about going into that field? What is your advice to that young boy, that young girl?
Ooh, I would say you have to trust yourself
Yeah,
for sure. You have to be your own self motivator because it's going to be some days where your fuel is low.
mm.
You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
it's an 8 year journey. You
yeah,
know, and in the
yeah,
beginning, it's long in the beginning. I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie to you, and that's why I say, and many say the same thing. Breaking down the small goals, breaking down the semesters. For me, once I achieve a small goal, give yourself a little celebration. You know,
mm.
because you reach that goal.
That's
You
good.
know,
That's a good point.
for sure, and by reaching that goal, it shows you that you're still on the right direction that you want to go in life.
Yeah,
Whether it's passing this exam, that exam is going to get you to the end goal. So
right.
you achieve that.
Yeah,
And I think with people when they make goals, they don't realize how big it is. But if you chop it down just a little bit more, you just reminding yourself like, hey, I am headed in the right direction that I want to go.
yeah,
And so just keeping that motivation. So every time you reach a goal, give yourself a little bit of credit, a little bit of small celebration,
yeah,
whether it's going to a restaurant, doing a mini vacay or something, and then it's back to work.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you got another goal to get.
There you go.
Because it feels good. It feels good. Not only did you reach a goal, you celebrated, you want to celebrate again. So you
Yeah,
got to reach another goal.
yeah,
That's what I would tell the young aspiring doctor.
right.
Um, and even if you haven't started yet and you're thinking about it, if you think about a goal every single day, go for it. Like
Yeah,
you're thinking about it for a reason.
for sure.
Like our goals and dreams, like those passions feel good, man, and they're satisfying when you reach them. So I would tell them replenish your fuel on those low days. Mental breaks are imperative. For me, I practice mindfulness. I'm always outdoors, at least every other weekend, clearing my mind, meditating, enjoying fresh air. They, because mental health, I know you be on that too.
Yes, sir. You already
It's
know it.
it's imperative,
I got to go on
because
a hike or something.
for sure, and
Yeah,
it's support systems are vital. I would not be here. I would not be here without my family. Just I would not. And your support system supports you. They're not going to drive you. You know,
whoa.
you have to be your own driver in this path. It's your path to walk. So that I think that's imperative as well for someone young
That
or
was
at
heavy.
the beginning.
That was really heavy. I never heard that articulated that way. Your support system supports you. They don't drive you. That drive has to come from you.
Right.
That's tough.
For sure. That's what I mean by you got to replenish yourself. Like
Yeah,
you got to when you give your all from Monday to Friday and you got a big exam on Monday and you're like, oh man, I gotta live this weekend. I gotta take this break. Mm, replenish your mind for Monday. Monday coming, and it's not changing. So that's what I would tell people young or at the beginning of this journey as well, even in the middle.
yeah,
But when you're in it, you're gonna you're gonna get in shape for it. You know what I mean? When you set up this schedule of knocking out prereqs, you have so let's say the prerequisites are the requirements of most med schools. You have to take biology before you take anatomy. You have to take chemistry before you take organic chemistry
yeah,
and biochemistry. And these sound like big sciencey classes, but I promise you, they're going to start you at the ground level and build you up.
yeah.
You know, they're not just going to throw you in the water and sink and swim. So it's just trusting that, you know.
Real quick. Jerome, when we talk about expiring dentists, do you guys at your school have like any camps during the summer or anything that they can be a part of? Because maybe they don't really know what they want to be, but they're like, I want to just be exposed to it so that I can just familiarize myself with this environment and then be able to kind of navigate, from there. So do you guys have like any camps or any events that you have wherein people of a younger age can come out?
For sure. For Meharry Medical College, we have Impressions Day where they can go through the dental campus and see the dental environment, like behind the scenes in the clinics. And I'm pretty sure, I bet my last dollar on every dental school has one. Every medical school has one.
Right.
And I also think in the beginning to intern. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's
It's it's not preached enough in high school, especially where we went. I think the statistics say a third of freshmen in college change their major.
yeah.
That's scary that you put in time for a semester and you switching careers. But for me, when I went through my undergrad years, I didn't intern to my last year, and that was actually fuel for me.
Yeah.
Seeing what I was putting in all that time for to what I was going to be doing Monday to Friday, I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that was it. That was it. So I would tell anyone before you start this journey, go intern.
Yeah.
Like I know you ain't getting paid. I know it feels like volunteering, but seeing what you're going to do Monday to Friday, it's imperative. Cause
And the good thing about interning is sometimes you may be able to find an internship that may be outside of the country, right?
exactly.
That can assist with that exposure that you need to be able to talk to an audience or to a person of a different nationality or culture. So even with those, and I know you can talk about that too, just about the exposure of interns outside of the country.
Oh yes, definitely. It's the possibilities interning is limitless. You and the with the networking that you can achieve with it. That's how I gained a mentor. Actually, two mentors.
Yeah.
Just by interning, that guidance that you're going to receive from your end goal. Like I interned a dentist. That's my end goal. The guidance, it solidified me, man. I think everyone, even if it's not the medical field, whether it's IT, anything, go see what your end goal looks like in person. It can be very different than what's on the video online.
That's a great point. Never heard that either. Articulate like that. That's a great point. So, Jerome, we're like coming to the end of the conversation, but I think it's imperative for me to ask this question that what do you see, right? And I'm looking at our last question, but what are some of the goals that you have once you finish your process of going into dentistry? And now, if you're like still in between with sharing that, that's cool too. So if you want to kind of just share like a little tidbit, that's fine too. However you want to talk about it.
Ah, oh yeah, mine's is it's I'm gonna stay adaptable, you know.
All right.
But for now, my mindset is after graduating, whether I specialize or not, I plan on opening practice 3 years of
Mm,
after practicing. I hope to attain the land, the building, and my practice because how my mentor taught me was you want to own the building, you know. Um, for if you expand, like have multiple practices, own the building,
wow.
own the land.
Yeah.
Because the land, that's generational wealth. Never let go of the land. You pass that down to the next generation. With owning the building in practice, when I retire, I'll be able to put other dentists in there and they pay me rent for being in that building. So that would be a revenue from passive income. So that's my plan. I definitely will mentor, definitely do community outreach as well as my mentor did, reaching the youth. Because like
Yeah.
I said, 4% is too little, and getting out in the communities where, huh?
Said 4% is too low.
Too low, too low, and reaching out to the communities that we come from, where
For
it
sure.
was no black dentists. That's those communities have to be reached.
Yeah.
So that's definitely my goal after school.
Yeah.
Practice ownership and maybe expansion.
Yeah.
Maybe multiple.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm sure that this conversation was impactful to the listeners. I want to just thank you all that have joined tonight and those that will be listening at a later point. Thank you for listening. And I hope that something was said that you'll be able to glean from. And if you're not able to glean from it, maybe share it with your cousin, your nephew, your nieces, whoever, somebody that may be thinking about being a dentist or going in the medical field. This is the conversation that they want to listen to. This is the conversation that may be able to take them to that next step. Jerome, we're about to end, but do you have any last words for the people tonight?
Oh man, I like to thank my boy Doo Doo, the PANS program for having me. If anyone ever has any questions about going down the medical route, you definitely can reach me. Um, my contact is Jerome_Neal at Outlook.com. Anyone that is going through the medical route, look up this website called Student Doctor Network. It is going to be it's imperative that you get up there. It's imperative. There's so many gyms up there because it's dedicated to people in the same direction that you're headed. And I lived by it before I got in dental school. And everyone in school I know used that website. So
Mm,
definitely get on Student Doctor Network. It's for us.
yeah,
So that's I wish anyone luck. No one told me I can be a doctor. My mom said you can be anything you set your mind to. I decided to be a doctor, and I'm telling whoever's watching and will watch, you can be a doctor. So that's
yeah.
it, man. Appreciate you having me, bro.
Yes, sir. Look, man, this conversation is dedicated to the 4% that we're about to increase.
Ah, that's right. That's
This
right.
conversation is dedicated to the 4% that we're about to increase. Black doctors is going up. All
That's
right. We
right.
appreciate you all. Y'all have a good night.
Be easy, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.